This city, teeming with life, and crime, and others. The healers have gone missing. Just where have they gone, and how can I solve this Hey, the hell are you doing in my house? Oh shit. Who the hell was that guy? I've been hearing a lot about a healer shortage in FF14, which raises the question, why was there a healer shortage at this tier? Personally, I don't really do a lot of Party Finder content, but I still feel like this is an interesting discussion to have. Therefore, I am running with the assumption that this healer shortage was indeed real for at least some data centers. So why does no one want to play healer? Well, first and foremost, supports like tanks and healers are typically always the least played classes in MMOs. Most players enjoy seeing big numbers go boom on their screens, and most tanks and healers do not allow for that experience. But with FF14 specifically, I have seen and personally felt that healing needs just a little bit of attention in terms of design. Now, this part might be a bit awkward because I actually really like healing in this game. Maybe it's because it's my least played role, but personally, I enjoy it despite the issues that I went over in my homogenization video. But I have seen a lot of healers express issue with their overall kits and job design changes over the years. In particular, I have seen a lot of talk about healers' DPS rotations, which is funny because that's what I said in the video. But yeah, the first big reason for the healer shortage that we can infer is the actual design of the healers. Some players just aren't happy with having a 2 to 3 button damage rotation, which, I mean, it's understandable. I mean, White Mage rotation is literally 3 buttons, and Scholar is very similar. And in a game that emphasizes healer DPS, a lot of players don't find it particularly engaging. Next is the actual fights themselves. Abyssos has some pretty hard-hitting tank busters, which, if not mitigated properly, will make healing literally impossible. So this reason basically comes down to teammates, which, jokes aside, are a very real thing. As a healer, there is nothing more infuriating than your teammates not using their own mitigation tools, such as Reprisal with Feint, to help with damage mitigation. Or sometimes they just do a mechanic wrong and you get blamed for it. Insert Quinn joke. This tier, more than last, has some genuinely tough-hitting tank busters that require a lot more attention from tanks than usual. On the opposite end, having a team that is too good can make healing more boring. FF14 fights are incredibly choreographed, which inherently I don't think it's a bad thing. But this does lead to you as a player getting this sort of rhythm down while proccing or reclearing a fight, more so than any other MMO that I have played. But when healing, when your party isn't taking accidental damage, when your tanks are well geared, and no one needs healing or attention, you find yourself DPSing. And as we already established, there are a sizable number of players that take issue with the damage rotation that most healers have. Now, one thing that is important to note about the healer shortage is the fact that it seems to pertain to party finder groups, meaning that when groups of random players group up for content, no one wants to heal. This really shouldn't shock anyone. For starters, as stated previously, healers are the least played roles in MMOs. Combine that with being the role that takes the most blame, arguably has the most pressure, and put that in a random group setting which adds to the pressure versus playing with people you know, and even despite the issues that certain players have with healing, I think it stands to reason that in general, healers are always hard to come by in Party Finder. And maybe it's worse now, but at the end of the day, healing and, well, supports in general are going to take more of the blame. Therefore, are most likely to shy away from random group content and instead opt for finding dedicated groups to play with, which I advise every player to do. Playing this game with a group of people that you actually know is so much better than playing with a bunch of randoms. That's just my 2 cents. Personally, I think healing's fine right now. There are some changes I'd make, but I enjoy it. You know, I feel like this, in general, this is an issue that's pretty common in most MMOs, but exacerbated by existing player grievances. But what do you think? Have you personally experienced a healer shortage? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.